Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in to a new PvP video. Hopefully, y'all are having a great day, evening, afternoon, all that good stuff. So the reason I'm doing this video is if a lot of you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of SWTOR PvP. I've been playing PvP for I'd say around like 3-4 years. Today it's some of the best PvP in the MMO genre, in my opinion. So with that being said, the reason why I'm making this, like I said, the reason why I'm making this video is because there's a lot of people who want to find a good PvP, maybe even MMO PvP game that suits them, something they can invest their time in. And the reason why I want to introduce SWTOR PvP to them is because, in my opinion, it's something many players or many gamers in general, it's something they should experience because it's such a SWTOR PvP, such a addicting, satisfying, just abilities. Every ability feels like it matters and like there's an importance to it. Just a overall satisfying and overall core fundamental good and fun game. You can mention its optimization issues. It's sometimes care of attention that the developers, it feels like they place on the game or on the PvP side. But at the end of the day, I think SWTOR has some amazing abilities, animations, and balance to it that it's something you just have to try once or twice, which is why I like recommend PvP. So the reason why so we're making this video today, I should say, to get you guys continue to start this beginner guide series to get you guys started on what class you should get into or start playing, depending on the playstyle you prefer. I know there's a lot of explanation I gave, but there's just like a little intro of the reason why I'm making this video. So if you guys are wondering the reason of the series, this is the reason why. So I'll be going over basically every class in this video, and giving the rundown of how each class works, what the type of playstyle it's kind of oriented towards, and find out. Hopefully, you're able to find out which class is the best for you. So anyways, with that being said, let us get into this beginner guide video, finding what class is best for you. All right, y'all, enjoy the video. Peace. Okay, so first thing first, if you guys are new, welcome. If you're returning, also welcome, and welcome back. This video is meant for anyone new or returning. I should have mentioned that in the beginning, but I'll probably include a post edit for that. But like I said, yeah, like I said, this video is meant for anyone. So if you're trying to figure out what class is best for you, if you've maybe not tried some of the classes or even all the classes, and you want to get back and try a new class, getting back into the game, perfectly understandable. This video is perfectly for you. So going on to the first class. Also, hopefully guys y'all like the presentation, little slide. To make it a little bit easier. First thing, we have Juggernaut. You guys can read all the stuff. I'm just probably gonna give like a quick rundown. Juggernaut basically is your front line, tank, or even just space creator. But in general, you can take quite a bit of damage and cause enough pressure on not just the healer but all the range players, that you're able to go in and allow your team to push up and do damage on their own. Juggernauts have a lot of DCDs. They have their Saber Ward and their Enraged Defense or Focus Defense. You can choose between a Mad Dash for more mobility, a Saber Reflect, or a Awe, which is like an AoE stun, or AoE a stun. So overall, they have some good abilities to like either hold down their presence in a certain area, or close the distance, cause damage towards other players. Also, with Juggernaut, I forgot to mention that it has, with its Force Leap, it has a 6-second or 4-second immunity to CCs. So when you enter in combat with your Force Leap, you're able to gain immunity to CCs and do damage which you can in those 6 seconds. Then use a Force Push, which then resets the cooldown of your Force Leap or your Force Charge, and then reapply that same Force or immunity, allowing you to do your openers. And on top of that, you gain like a 20% damage reduction with your Force Leap, a Neor or Dermpe, which gives you a 35% damage reduction, if I'm not mistaken. Immunity to do do the abilities you want, allowing you to take charge in the battlefield and not allowing players to you know, slow you or root you or CC you during that time that you have your buff or immunities from your force charge. So PvE sends rage, a lot of bursts, and PvE has vengeance, dot spread, and self sustain heals. Not self sustain, but you know, decent heals with its dots. Next we have Sith Marauder slash Sentinel. So Sith Marauder Sentinel is a very mobile, you know, I'd say even balanced class to a sense. It has a lot of mobility, like I said, with Force Camo. You can run into Mad Dash, or you can choose for 2 Force charges or Force leaps, allowing you to close the distance to many mobile characters or many range characters. On top of that, some decent DCDs, Cloak of Pain, or I forgot what to call it on Jedi side or Republic side. Also has some decent cooldowns that allow you to do your damage and then get out when needed. One of its biggest abilities that makes Marauder so which allows you to leave combat to Juggernaut is that it has a if you're getting targeted and then go out to heal, if need be, or re-enter the fight, which more than likely you're more likely going to use it to get out of combat to go heal and run off, because outside of Sith Marauders or Sentinels, DCDs, and then their med packs, you really don't have much to keep you alive. So your only way of like getting basically another fight is by going off to Force Camo and heal. In PvP, Sentinels and Marauders are able to cause a lot of single target pressure, forcing range players to use their DCDs and use their DCDs, use their mobility to get out of combat, because if they get focused by a Marauder, they are more than likely gonna die if they don't do anything to like look at it. That's why Marauder Sentinel excels at single target combat. There's 3 classes. There's Combat, Carnage, Concentration, and Fury, and then Annihilation or Watchmen. Annihilation and Watchmen aren't really used in PvE. It's mainly the other 2 that are used. It's mainly used because it has the most burst and most noticeable damage seen. However, going on to the PvE side, Annihilation thrives in operations, NIM operations especially. The reason why, as you can see by the title, the Chosen One, the reason it is labeled the Chosen One is because Annihilation, it's not like it doesn't have good damage, it's just Annihilation has good sustained damage. But one thing that it goes above the rest is that it's able to heal the team, doing like 8 to 12k healing to each person nearby. As you can see right here, it says some of the best Annihilation players are able to get up to 12k heals per second. So the fact that it's able to do at least half the healing for just one class is what makes it a super good class. Great self-sustained damage and self-healing on its own. Help the team out and with heals that it may need to push it, give it the upper edge, and help beat out some of these NIMOBs. Beautiful, just it feels like Star Wars class. Next we have Sorcerer Sage. Very mobile class, very mobile, especially if you go Madness. Very mobile class with a lot of mobility with its force speed, and I mean, I say just its force speed, but like it's all really had for mobility wise. But it is just a very range class, or a very mobile class. It feels like very good at doing high bursts with both of its specs. It has good high bursts and sustained damage while also getting good self heals of its own, and a bubble to withstand burst or withstand dot damage. It also has, on top of its own self heals, it has lifesteal if you're playing Madness / not Serenity, Balance. So if you go into that spec in PvP, it's pretty well. Or you can run Lightning / Telekinesis. Telekinesis, Lightning are many people's favorite because its animations are super great. Like I said, it's like a regular mage in any other MMO sense. So it's a good class, fun class. All around good class. If you want to run its healer counterpart, it's a good, very fun and good healing class. I think mostly all healers in the PvE sense, you can run any of them and they do pretty well on their own. All around, Sage Sork is a very good, flashy, mobile, with also good, decent DR. Like I said, it's super fun, most fun in my opinion, most fun range. Next we have Jedi Shadow. Like I said right here, the trackable target. It has 2 Force Cloaks if you run the tactical. 2 Force Cloaks, high burst damage if you're running, especially if you're running Deception, or in general just high burst. With its Shadow Craft, which gives a 100% critical chance. A lot of DCDs to like prevent players from prevent players from ruining its opener. So it has Force Shroud, or Resilience, which gives it 3 seconds of immunity to and tech and force abilities, which are the only abilities that are CCs. So basically immune to CCs and any force and tech abilities. So any damage abilities like that. And also, if you run deflection or sturdiness, you're able to get, which is a tactical or not tactical, it's a ability tree, talent tree ability. You're able to get 6 seconds of immunity to basically all CCs. So, like I said, that is shadows are able to go in, do their damage, run pop DCDs if they're getting targeted, and then get out of combat. So basically, you're gonna run 2 cloaks. You're gonna go in, do damage, and even if people are looking at you, doesn't matter. You're gonna use your cloak again after those 6 seconds are over. That way, you can then reapply your Shadowcraft and then burst the same target or whoever target you want for those 6 seconds, and then you save your last Forge Cloak for when you really need to get out of combat, and then go out to heal. So all around high burst class. I really don't know what to say. Like it says in the PvE area, best in class in terms of damage. Has high damage, high self heals. Yeah, very good self heals, and can shoot from AoE spread to sustain damage usually pretty well. It doesn't really have to swap its tacticals or anything. Next is Bounty Hunter Commando. Like it says here, second tank. It is super tanky. It has its energy shield. It has its reflective barrier. It has its healing ability, adrenaline something, which gets you like up to 8 seconds, or gets you up to 80% health or HP, or 60% HP, either way, super high for like 8 seconds or 4 seconds. It feels like forever. And it has a net for to not slow, but to hinder mobile. So it has a lot of things to prevent melee players to do damage to it. And on top of that, ability tree talent ability tree talent. Once the duration of your shield runs out, all the damage, or like 40% of the damage that you took during that shield, is then replenished into HP, turned into HP, which is like up to like 60, 40 or 60% HP. Really good. So overall, just a super tanky class, which also on top of all that has self heals. So has plenty of DCDs, has stuns, what's it called, hinder abilities, and its own self heals. Oh, and hydraulics too. I forgot mobility too. Hydraulics to get out of a situation. The only problem I say watch out is like if you're playing IO or orderance or assault specialist, you gotta watch out because a lot of your abilities take a wind up abilities. You can get interrupted for a lot of your abilities, and you lose a lot of damage if they get interrupted. But overall, just a super solid class. Definitely very beginner friendly. It allows you to focus on doing damage and react to damage by casting your abilities more so than having to kite or LOS. Also, in terms of healer, best healer in the game in my opinion. I think like many people agree it's the best healer in the game. A lot of good DCDs, burst, great burst healing, and AoE healing, especially if you run the tactical. And like I said here, it's a pretty decent learning curve, so you can get into the class and learn it pretty easily. Next up, we have Vanguard Powertech. In PvP, the best DPS in the game. So Vanguard Powertech has some of the best damage, burst damage, averaging 30 seconds, averaging can peak at 1.2 million damage in just 30 seconds. That's killing three players over, or killing one player 3 times over. So what many people run is tactics / advanced prototype, but I know I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me explain the class. So basically, Vanguard Powertech is a tanky frontliner that also has pretty good mobility, decent mobility with its hydraulics. Even after its hydraulics are off cooldown or on cooldown, and it still has a grab ability, and then it still has a dash ability, or like not dash, a leap ability to close the distance to mobile players. So basically, all you're really doing is you jump in, you do your AoE CC, which is carbonize, or I forget what it's called on Republic or on Vanguard, and you choose the target you want to burst, and then burst them down. On top of that, it has a shield, which It's on its it only lasts for not last on 2 second cooldown, and its duration, not duration, what's it called? Its cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds, I think, every second, every time they're taking damage. So you cast your bubble, and then by the time in a minute, you already have your bubble back up, and you're able to do damage. On top of that, it has its not hydraulic override, Koto override, which gives it decent heals, but its main purpose is it allows you to, if you get CC'd, you first pop your hydraulic over or your adrenaline Koto override, and then if you get CC'd again, then you pop your CC breaker, and then boom, you have full resolve, and you can't get CC'd, and you're able to just do your full opener and not worry about getting not bursted, not worry about getting CC'd during your opener. So very frontline heavy class with a lot, or frontline class with a lot of heavy damage. PvE people love, and I mean love pyro / plasma Powertech. They love that, or Vanguard. It's a super fun spec that can do a lot of AoE dot spread or focus on single target. It has the ability to do whatever it wants. All you got to run is you run the superheated fuel or something that increases your critical heat abilities by 25% or something like that. And you can just see so much damage output be put out. Powertech is like one of the best tanks in the game right now. Just overall, just super tanky class. I can't really get into the details of tanks. I kind of missed that, Mark. I missed that. My bad. My mistake. But Vanguard is a very good tank. I've heard, and for many players, I just haven't played myself. And also for Juggernaut is also a good tank. As a new player, I'll say this much: if you're trying to get into the game and you want to play tank, or you want to get into DPS, but you feel like you're still learning, I'd say play this Juggernaut as a tank. So basically a skink tank where you run, basically what a skink tank is that you're running, you run the tank class, but you run full DPS gear. And it honestly works so well with Juggernaut because you're able to output like 100k hits sometimes with your big ability. Next we have Shadow / Assassin. The reason why I talk about that is because it's at the point that the DCDs are so good. If you know how to play tank classes well and run as a skink tank, it's just honestly just so hard for many people to play against it because the DR and like the defensive chance for a tank is just so insane, even as a skink tank. That's why I always talk about that. Anyways, though, Assassin Shadow as a tank is very how do I put this? It's pretty good. Actually, it's pretty not bad. It Force Shroud again makes it immune to a lot of CCs, and overall has a lot of defensive chance. Can get out of combat with its Force Cloak. And if you run the DPS class, you can actually get a lot of AoE cleave, a lot of cleave damage or AoE damage. Operative, like your basic what's it called? Rogue class. Operative, like I said here, like I explained, it's a very agile class. Has 2 roles. Can close distance with hollow transverse. Can, like also he said here, many playstyles. It can go sit back, spread dots, cause enemies to lose health over time, or it can play the upline, the up and close class, or up and close style, and do a lot of burst damage to a single enemy, or maybe even, and plus a little bit of other enemies too with its dot spread. Overall, it's overall fun class. Concealment has a lot insane burst damage, single target, some of the craziest amount of single target damage. So if you want to run concealment, go for single target damage. I think this is where Operative, honestly, it could go either or, depending on, especially on your playstyle. You can choose between isolate a single target like a ranged player and annoy them or pester them, especially like a healer or something like that. You can like pester a healer or a tank even, or you can go on the AoE approach and cause multiple players over time. It might take a little bit longer, but you can force multiple players to use their DCD, lose health gradually over time. And again, on top of it, has self heals. So self heals, pretty good DR, good defense abilities. So overall, good class with stealth to get you out of combat and go heal if need be. Last is Gunslinger Sniper. Most of its classes like SWTOR and usually marksmen have good sustained damage that you can, you know, help your team, and you can also have apply many of your DCDs like diversion and scrabbling field. Usually a big nim class to play because you can play with your team or play back and do damage from afar. But in PvP, it's just such a busted class because no one will look at a gunslinger or sniper or slinger and sniper because it's just so far back. It's 30 meters away, and then once you close the distance, they then have a root. They have a root. They have a knockback. On top of that, it has some of the highest. If you're playing engineering, SWTOR has some of the highest bursts in the game. Actually, it's not the highest burst damage in the game. Let's just say the broken tactical. You can do up to like 100. I've seen 150k explosive charge damage off of just gold with just not gold, purple augments alone. 150, 160k damage off of one ability. That's like half of your HP. So, like I said, some of the highest bursting class damage. But, you know, overall, there's some fun parts to Gunslinger with, like, marksman and virulence sometimes, good amount of times. It has a lot of decent, I think, like I say, it has decent dot spread with virulence, and the marksman's able to get a lot of single target, and, you know, it's also able to cause a lot of team pressure with his diversion and scrabbling field if you run scrabbling field. But yeah, overall, Gunslinger is just very well sustained class that can keep itself in the fight for a good amount of time. Only time it usually gets out, it's in trouble is if it's like a bunch of range classes, like a merc or a Thor, or maybe even an operative to spread its dots towards them, or especially a PT. Like those are the only classes that really give it trouble, which is a good amount of classes, but you know, it's hit or miss sometimes because sometimes players don't even look at them still. So yeah, that is the last of the classes. Hopefully, I was able to give you an explanation of what class was most suitable for you. If you need a rundown, should I give like a quick rundown? This is Juggernaut up front, do high burst damage to targets and create opener for your class or for your team. Marauder excels at single target damage, high mobility, and good self heals. Burst, good sustained damage, very good sustained damage. Assassin Shadow, go in, do damage, and then can leave combat when needed. Especially with 2 force cloaks. Bounty Hunter Commando, second tankiest range player in my opinion. A lot of plenty of DCDs, great mobility, and good decent damage. Vanguard Powertech, a lot of high burst, go in. Heavy frontliner goes in, bursts, and if it gets a hold of a range player, it's gonna be dead in like 3 or 4 seconds because it just has crazy damage. Operative Scoundrel, lots good self heals, good mobility, many playstyles up front, dot spread or objective. Well, iconic class in like the PvE sense, in my opinion. Gunslinger Sniper is just iconic when it comes to getting into like operations for its damage. Just, you know, well-known class. Overall, good class. And yeah, that's all that. Hopefully, you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me ask them in the comments or join the Discord where I let y'all know when I upload a video, when I might be streaming. If you guys want to check out the stream, twitch.tv/thatmanjb, or if I call left video, or what type of ideas I have planned, all that. And if you guys have any video ideas you want to recommend in this beginner guide or beginner PvP guide video, or just, I don't know, guide videos in general, just feel free to let me know and see if I make one of those videos if you guys recommend them. More likely I will. And with that being said, I'll see y'all next time. Take care, y'all, and enjoy your rest of y'all days, evening, afternoons, and all that good stuff. Y'all, peace.